I think that works, actually. I think that actually brings around. What's happening? What's going on, people? How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, that's a new song I was playing around with. I only use AI for like types of music I wouldn't normally write, like I said, and so I started playing with some lyrics, and I was like, and I was very inspired by Resident Alien. Um, so I was like, I wonder if I could crank together like an EDM dance song that'll give me like a blast whenever we encounter, which we will today, and we do every day, a moment of sheer and utter bullshit. So
This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it.
So I just think it's appropriate.
This is some bullshit.
All right, so that goes right up there with.
That's not how it works.
All right, so I mean, you got to have fun in the face of all the craziness. I'm sure we were all toe up today, if I may, and I think I can. We were all toe up hearing what happened to John Bolton. Now, I got to say, even with his criticisms of Trump, I have no sympathy for John Bolton, who's just a special kind of awful. So, I mean, watching these assholes chew each other's necks, it's a bit like, I don't know, okay. I'm sure in there is some element of of like when they came for John Bolton, I was silent, right? But I don't think I'm in the same fucking sandbox as that asshole, so I don't really worry about it. And I think the most shocking part of it for me is this idea that they're going after. Well, I'll show you here. Hold on. This is so good. John Bolton, Trump's, was he his NSA in his first term or whatever? He worked with the Bush administration, just a classic neocon war hawk. The actual, like, if you ask Jimmy Dore or you ask TYT, John Bolton is a fucking Democrat who may have very well been Bill Clinton's first choice of a running mate. That's how they think of it. But he's a fucking monster, right? So fuck him. But one thing you can't say about the guy is that he's an unelected bureaucrat in the background forcing the leadership to do things they don't want to do. He's brought into the cabinet basically to justify. Trump even said he brought Bolton in because he was fucking crazy. And if you brought him into a meeting, people go, oh shit, Bolton's here. He's going to suggest Trump, if we don't give him an option, he's going to say bomb everybody and he's going to do it. That was the idea. That he used him as a pit bull. That was his argument, right? We've heard this a bunch of fucking times because Trump doesn't have any new arguments. But also, this part, by the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. And if you haven't subscribed,
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
yeah, don't just subscribe, will you? Hit subscribe, would you please? You fucking maniacs. Also, I'm going to do one more thing before we get into our clips, which I do. And Friday I was particularly great this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We came up with a great plan. In case you guys, some people don't watch it, is that I'm going to engage the Sparklers in a crowdfunding challenge next year. Don't worry, your wallets are safe for the time being. That we're going to track the 5 best humanoid robots that do like cleaning and support and that kind of stuff, and we're going to gift one to Project Angel Food. Whichever one of the 5 is in the right price range, that would be around the $20,000 to $30,000 mark. We're going to raise money, and we're going to gift a service robot humanoid service robot to Project Danger Food. That's what I want to do. At the same time, we might also run a concurrent one where we're gifting a concrete 3D printer to Habitat for Humanity. That would be also in the thing. That's a much more expensive one. I think those are like $120,000, and I don't even know if they want one, but I think it would be a good thing. So we started that idea this morning, and I started work on it this afternoon, and we're going to chip away at it. Currently, the top 5 is the Eve, curiously enough, from X1, which is their, or 1X rather. They have the Neo Eve. They have Neo Gamma as well, which is the tan one that works in the house. The Eve is more for industrial purposes. The Figure One, like Optimus is supposed to be in there. It's a dark horse at the end. I think I might use that one just to scare everybody into helping support the other ones. And the 2 others at the time being, well, the All X maybe. That's new. We'll have to see. But they're all coming online. And what we're going to try to do is once it's around $20,000 to $30,000 in that window, we're going to crowdsource it, and I'll chip some in, and we'll deliver it as a sparkler gift to one of these places, probably middle or next year. But again, this is us watching out in the future. That's making something good of stuff that's on the horizon. So that's coming. Now, deep state. What's this fucking deep state? What's this deep state nonsense? The deep state is a modern rebranding of bureaucrat, because bureaucrat doesn't sound scary or sexy. It just sounds like a pencil pusher is telling you what the rules are. And nobody's afraid of that. And when you think for more than 5 fucking seconds, you go, well, we gotta have rules and somebody's gotta watch out. Okay, I see that, right? That's the response that any logical person does. But deep state, nobody wants a deep state. Even in a bureaucracy, you don't want a deep state, right? It's just it's a rebranding. It's just fucking scaring the shit out of someone. It's so lame. Thanks, Brenda. But one thing it isn't is out front. It's not the people. It's not the figurehead or the head of the department. That's not the deep state. You have to be. The deep state has to be deep sixed. It has to be hidden, right, behind something. Otherwise, it's just elected officials and their appointees being fucking assholes. Which brings us to John Bolton, who was an elected official, and a couple of assholes. This is, in case you don't know, this is Peanut Butter Dickhead, and this is Vinny, the guy with selective Epstein outrage. And they raided John Bolton's house this morning, and again, shrug. But, I mean, it very well may be that, Tulsi Gabbard denied people's classified, their classification as being able to see classified information at different levels or whatever. Bolton may have been in that because he was in the initial, they may have remembered that he still had classified access from the first presidency, so they turned it off last week, and then they raid his house for shit he hadn't handed back yet. It's fucking dumb. This is the exact same thing, by the way, they do with, like, immigrants who are here, who've gotten asylum or have a work permit, or, you know, are here doing actual work or on a student visa or something like that, and then they secretly deny that. They cut it off. They go, as of now, it's done. And they don't inform the person, and suddenly that person is unaware that they are breaking the law as an immigrant in the country. Now they are undocumented all of a sudden because somebody wrote, tear up that person's document, signed dipshit, and send it off to the right bureau, like a bureaucrat would, and they tear up this person's visa or whatever, and suddenly that person is here illegally. They have no idea. And if you don't give them due process, they'll never even be able to find out that's exactly what the fuck happened. I would argue that's probably what happened with Bolton. We'll find out. I don't really care. But the point is, it's fucking stunning that these dipshits refer to him as the deep state. And they're not alone. This is a standard phrase around the, like, Republican and maggot sphere right now.
I want to go to the John Bolton story. First thing this morning, Rob, if you want to play this clip here. So John Bolton this morning is not at the house, by the way. Similar to how President Trump wasn't at the house when they went to Mar-a-Lago and the FBI raided his home.
By the way, for those of you saying he would have made a good Colonel Sanders, fuck you. I knew Colonel Sanders. He baked me a cake on my 10th birthday at his wife's restaurant in Lexington, Kentucky. I know Colonel Sanders. He is no Colonel Sanders. Neither is Glenn Beck.
Well, this is what happened to John Bolton, and that's probably exactly what he looked like when he found out that the FBI showed up. Go ahead, Rob.
The Fox News alert, we're just learning the FBI agents have raided the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton.
Right. Well phrased there, Kilmeade. Who would have thought Dilley would actually get it right? Yeah. Former Trump National Security Advisor. This is the deep state. This is cleaning up the deep state, right? Brooming your own fucking people.
At 7 a.m. this morning.
Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, quote, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission."
No, it says on mission, not on a mission, because that would direct it specifically about this thing, but he's too much of a coward. So there's no A in there, so on mission can just be a general statement that he could say, that had nothing to do with it later, because he's a fucking wuss. Secondly, Trump has made the Supreme Court insist he's above the law. So yeah, I would argue that according to Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell is above the law. She got a special transfer to fucking Club Fed. She could be on work release. He's talking about pardoning a child sex trafficker. No one is above the law. Shut the fuck up.
David Spunt joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, David.
Hey, guys, not much we can say at this point, but
Great. Okay, thanks. That's a wrap.
information will continue.
But we do have a big picture of him we can keep playing and doing the Ken Burns effect.
To develop. As you mentioned, about 7 o'clock this morning, FBI agents raided Ambassador Bolton's home. Notable, we're being told by two government sources that they are looking for classified documents as part of a potential.
Really? They're not just rooting through his storage of classic dildos that he didn't return to Mar-a-Lago, washed and dried like he promised?
Leak investigation. We're told that Ambassador Bolton is not in custody. He's not under arrest, but it is notable they are at his Maryland home right now.
Yeah, I'll make a note of it.
Now, we don't know how many agents are there. We're waiting to get a picture of the scene coming in right.
Then go to George Conway's fucking Twitter feed. He was standing right there, like recording it all on his phone
now. But we're told Ambassador Bolton, who was just on TV on another network a couple days ago talking about the Russia-Putin-Trump summit, is now under FBI investigation. Now, I want.
Yes, that doesn't sound like selective persecution at all.
Okay, Tom, thoughts?
Well, you know what?
Okay, Vinny, thoughts?
No.
Tom,
what's
you're
your
going to say
point?
something.
I do it. Well, you know what? FAFO. You know, you wrote a memoir, you leaked information, you were a pain in the neck during the last year of his administration. You got the Biden administration to actually drop the suit that the Trump administration Justice Department brought against you. Biden walks in, Justice Department, John Bolton, any enemy of my enemy is my friend, is what he does, and Biden does it. And so now they're going around. Now, the headlines are going to
Now they're going around. Tell us what the headline will be.
Trump is going after his enemies. Authoritarianism returns to the streets of America.
Yeah, but that's about other shit. This is just this dipshit proving, again, that he's a terrible judge of character, doesn't know how anything fucking works, and hires the worst people. I guess this another prime example of Gleam, hashtag the best people.
No. This guy was
hired by Trump to be a national security advisor. And he was fine with that until the guy saw him up close and came away with opinions that he's an incompetent asshole on one of John Bolton's broken clock moments.
Speaker. This guy was a national security guy. This guy was not good. This guy was like the...
Yeah, we know. Democrats have been talking about what a shitheel John Bolton is forever. And here's a good idea. Check those lockers behind you for the Epstein files.
Hidden ghost of soul of the Warhawks trying to get things.
That's where I was going to go.
Even the Onion made fun of him. The Onion made fun of him once where they had this picture that said, John Bolton stumbles into Capitol claiming Iran shot him and we must retaliate.
That's funny.
That's what he's saying.
So
it is funny. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that is. It's super funny. You should How's that funny?
Shot in the parking lot by
Here's what's-
Iran.
here's what
Let's
some people-
nuke them.
Here's what some people
Okay, yeah. You know what? Actually, telling it like 3 different versions of it actually does make it funny. It is. Try just rewording it. I'm sure the Onion needs all the help it can get.
said this morning about it. Cash Patel said no one is above the law. FBI
Exactly.
agents on mission. Dan Bongino said public corruption will not be tolerated. Pam Bondi said
Sorry, Pam Bongino actually said something. Pam Bongino, listen to me. Dan Bongholio.
America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. Megan Hayes from CNN, a Biden
Unless, of course, we're talking about the Epstein files.
advisor, said seems extremely political, extremely petty, suggested it smacks of pure revenge and represents poor use of FBI resources. Vinny, what do you think?
Well, first of all, it drives me nuts that the other side has the freaking gall to even talk about, oh, they're using the law to come after. No. That's what Letitia James, that's what all these people were doing for Trump for years.
No. Well, I mean, I guess the cases ran for years, but they weren't doing it for like decades. Matter of fact, part of the problem with Trump, and this is why you got to handle this shit early, you got to nip stuff in the bud, is that if they'd have gone after him for this fucking fraud in 2013, this wouldn't be a fucking problem. We wouldn't even be talking about this dipshit right now.
For years now, this was, I was celebrating in my car, Tom, on the way here. By the way, they were looking
Oh, sorry, did you run into Pam Bondi while she was carrying a box of Epstein files across the street and they spilled all over your hood and you got to leaf through them?
for documents. They're probably hiding in his mustache. But this is...
Is that a reference to the fact that he has a rather pronounced mustache? Or, yeah, that's all there is.
This guy is the epitome. This is the epitome.
Got him. Yeah, boom. Go after his mustache. Never mind the fucking, his part in the Iraq war. Yeah.
Epitome, Tom, when they talk...
Finally, somebody has gotten up the nerve to go after John Bolton's facial hair. Will the bravery never cease? Every guy on this thing deserves the Presidential Medal of Better Than Every Other Civilian and most of the Army pin that Trump gives out.
about the swamp.
I'm with you. Preach.
Yeah, when they talk about the deep state, when they talk about the swamp, that's the guy.
The fuck? No, it isn't. He's not the deep state. He's out front. He's a national security advisor.
That is the face of the deep state, okay?
Sorry, so John Bolton is pushing us towards climate legislation. John Bolton is behind the push for all electric cars, windmills, and solar panels. He's the face of the deep state. So,
He wanted war with everybody. War with Iran, war with North Korea, war with Venezuela. Doesn't matter.
yeah, that's why Trump hired him.
He's that guy. He wanted the war. Then he blew up Trump's...
Also, fuckwad, if he's deep state, why would he be ubiquitous in all presidencies and all administrations, Democrat or Republican? He's not.
North Korea talks by running his mouth. He called it the Libya model, Tom, where he said... basically-
Intentionally, he did it.
Yeah, he said, he basically telling Kim Jong-un, you're next,
Basically.
right?
Yeah, well, Trump's heading over there.
Yeah, exactly. And then he fought...
Yeah, let's be clear. Why did it matter that he was saying this while Trump was flying over there? Because Trump hired the fucking guy. It's his fucking dude.
Trump on Afghanistan. He blocked the peace deals. And then you write a book talking crap about Trump and going after him. And it's like, this is the problem. I just hope...
And
that
leaking.
Yeah, but he did spend a lot of time with the guy. I mean, you can say what you will about reporters and sources and stuff, but Bolton was in the fucking room. So any shit he talks about Trump, I mean, if you could say he's lying, but you can't. But if you say it's a leak or he shouldn't have talked about it, you're admitting it's true.
Facts in the book that got him sued by Trump's Justice Department.
And good for him. I just hope, and mind you, again, guys, we're less than 1 year in. They're making all these promises. Let's put the Epstein and all that stuff aside. I hope this is...
Yeah, just put it aside. Thank you, Vinny. Finally, someone has the courage to say it doesn't matter, you know?
the beginning of everything else coming after it. The Hillary, the Bill, everybody that did something illegal, we want accountability. I'm happy it's starting with this guy, but
Why do you think going after John Bolton would end up with Hillary going to jail or having her house raided? The fuck?
I hope it doesn't finish. I hope it keeps...
It's finished. Like, he'll just pick and choose. Guess what? It's the next people on the list are people who work for fucking Hegseth. It's going to be his own people. He's convinced that everything Obama did, he was able to do because he's president, because he believes that about himself. And according to the SCOTUS, he's got wide, a broad base of operations and a very little liability on any action. And I guess if he just decides it's for national security, he's allowed to do anything, including shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and all that stuff. That's what Trump got the SCOTUS to say, which means retroactively it has to have always been true. It's not true going forward. Which means anybody who was assigned a task by Obama is forgiven because they were carrying a rightful order by the president themselves. According to that, that's what Trump is taking advantage of. That's why it's so scary. But it also is retroactive, so it doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to go after Hillary for anything she did in the State Department, you asshole. You know why? Because she was under orders from the Obama administration to handle that situation. So everything good and everything bad, it's a wash.
Well, John Bolton is known for war first, ask questions later.
Right. That's why Trump hired him.
Trump is all about Bob Barker. Let's make a deal.
Sorry, Bob Barker. Keep his name out of your mouth, asshole. How about Venezuela? Let's see how. Let's see how fucking Bob Barker this is. Hold on, I've got to put this on reader. U.S. warships to sail off Venezuela as tension soars between Trump and Maduro regime over cartel accusations. The United States is deploying 3 Aegis-guided missile destroyers to the waters off Venezuela as part of President's efforts to combat threats from Latin American drug cartels, confirming a report by Reuters. The USS Gravely, the USS Jason Dunham, and the USS Sampson were to depart for the region over the next few days. They're sending 4,500 troops. That sounds like something Bob Barker would do. Let's just make a deal.
So these guys have clashed since day one. The craziest thing is Trump
By the way, Bolton would have suggested that.
hired him as his national security.
Yeah, it's almost like that whole hashtag the best people thing was bullshit. You know? I think we can all agree, indeed, that it was.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Right. So.
Advisor, like, if there's any difference between the first term with Trump and second term with Trump, Trump's bench that he was dealing with back then was so limited and so.
What the fuck? Okay, first of all, the difference between Trump 1 and Trump 2 is that in Trump 1, he had the shoot first, ask questions later people in his national security team focused towards foreign enemies. Now he's got Stephen Miller doing that with American citizens. So shut the fuck up.
Just not with talent and people that were on his side. You would hire a vocal critic of Trump. Now Trump is like, who the hell are you? Why the hell are you here? Here's a guy who's made a career of bashing Trump in the last decade. And now.
In the last decade? After he had worked with the man.
I don't know. Some are calling it retribution. We'll see what happens here. But no man is above the law.
But Adam, and you said this before.
Right. So technically speaking, if he was found not to have classified documents and there's a memo somewhere that proves that they knew he didn't have those things, that they sent it to intimidate him and raided his house, then I guess everybody involved in that should go to jail. We agree? We agree. Excellent.
I've heard other people argue the fact where they're like, well, he assigned him, just like Christopher Wray. They're like, well, if he's such a corrupt guy, and it's like, well, Trump, when he first won, Trump had no idea.
He had no idea.
Fuck you, he had no idea. You lazy bitches. Wait a minute. He had no idea? Hashtag the best people, motherfucker. He knew the best people. He was going to bring in people. He didn't even need all these people in D.C. He was going to bring in, he could get them on the phone anytime he wanted. What the fuck? This is so weak. First of all, you can't have the guy walking around saying, I know more about grass than anybody in the world. I know more about the terrorists. I know more about ISIS than the generals do. I know more about money than the Fed does. And then go, he couldn't get good advice. And then your excuse was, well, who was he supposed to call? While he said he knew the best people and literally ran on that the first time. Shut the fuck up. Here's the entire argument burned to a crisp. He lied to you before, you didn't give a fuck. He's lying to you now, you don't give a fuck. You have weighed the awful he is creating and the awful he has done with Jeffrey Epstein against what you view as the benefit of brooming brown people or treating immigrants like shit or causing more women to die in childbirth. You value that more than you're concerned about the fact that he lies and tells you to bend the fuck over.
Adam, you feel me? You just show up and you're like, okay. And you know what they say? The people in Washington go, hey, that's a great guy. Christopher Wray, hire them. But that's a great point.
Exactly. Eric Trump was on this podcast and said what happened the first time versus the second time with the people we put in to vet our selection is night and day. I believe that was a quote. It was night and day. And for people in the Dems to get up and say, oh, this is a terrible use of FBI resources. Remember who were the buffoons that sent those same FBI resources to Mar-a-Lago to find nothing.
Nothing? There were boxes and boxes of classified documents in an unlocked storage room, in a bathroom, and on the stage in one of the ballrooms. They found lots of shit. Trump's complaint was that they spilled it all over the floor. He had the Israeli attack plans on Iran back then.
And raid Roger Stone's house
Pat,
at
let me
freaking
ask
6
you.
o'clock in the morning.
Oh, watch out, Pat.
Pat,
Your computer.
Oh, there we go.
My God, you saved its life.
Tell me.
Pat, I don't think anyone's shocked by this. It's like, what? John Bolton? Why do you think this happened today?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gee, I mean, certainly creates another day where nobody's talking about the Epstein files, I suppose. Epstein. Maybe it happened today because the transcript dropped of the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, and it's so blazingly full of shit, it can't do anything but draw attention to the fact that she's lying to protect Trump, and Blanche went there to run interference. I have a great Substack on it. I'm just saying, at the Housebark Substack, mega worldwide.
I don't know if this guy's in my top 50 list of people to go after. I don't know.
Then he isn't. If you don't know, he isn't. You know how I know? Because you don't have a top 50 list, fuckhead. You don't think any of this shit through. If you did, your show wouldn't exist.
When your guy sends me a message this morning on Manect, he got into trouble.
Uh-oh. He got into trouble on Manect? Manect. That's his bullshit fake social media thing that he made up and came up. I don't know how he did it. This asshole came up with the absolute worst name ever for a social media training app site fucking cameo kind of thing. Manect. Really? That's what you get. You sat around? Did you have a bunch? It means like my way of connecting. Shit. Really? So it should be pronounced my-necked? Fuck. Sounds like Tinder for people who just want to like give each other hickeys.
He hasn't drank for 3 years. He is at an airport.
Great story so far. I'm totally committed to this. We got to see it through. Yeah, he's in trouble. You haven't heard from him. He's in an airport. Hasn't drunk for a while. Go.
He drinks. It's public. Video goes viral. He's asking me, how do I handle this? We're having a
Sorry, this happened this morning?
conversation together, one of our clients. And he screwed up, right? And as we all do, okay? But this is a big screw up.
No, not like that. No. Most people, by the way, if they're drinking, they start drinking again. They don't do it in an airport. They do it probably maybe in the lounge, but they'll do it back at the hotel, or they'll start drinking at the airport and then flip out and get videotaped, and then it goes viral, which I don't know. I think this is an old story. It didn't happen this morning. I think he's talking out of his ass, but maybe it happened again. Who cares? But no. Most of us don't have a situation like that. Our fuck ups are well within the regular human margin.
He hasn't drank for 3 years. And somebody who has drinking issues, or you've tried to get off alcohol, you know how tough it is. You say, I can get away with just one glass of wine or whatever, and the next thing you know, you're on
taking a shit in the airport, Cracker Barrel
stage, dancing around the pole, and people are saying, wait a minute, that's my accountant. And
what kind of airport is this? He's probably talking about the one on Little St. James. That makes sense. Vinny's been there.
So now.
Careful with your taxes, ladies and gentlemen.
Money, and he's like, save that money.
Yeah. This is the most
This guy my
entertaining
accountant?
accountant I've ever had.
gonna have
I'm
a
always
drink with that
audited,
guy.
but damn, this
You know,
guy's
I'm gonna
fun to
party
be
with this
around.
guy.
He's no
Something
longer
tells me
doing
you're
my
But let me
about
tell
to
you.
weave right
But let
now
me
and
tell
get
you.
back to
So
Bolton.
let me tell you how this thing works. So the whole point is, sometimes it's redirect. Sometimes it's, look over there.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean he's doing this to distract from Epstein. Sure.
Shit, guys,
see
what are we
here,
doing here?
exactly.
And sometimes it's look over there and really look over there because something's there. So if they go after this guy, they find something, and he has some stuff, guess what? They're going to look good. But if they go raid his house and they find nothing, they're going to look just like, what was the guy that did it here? The judge that went after Mar-a-Lago and says, this wasn't Biden. This was my choice. I made the decision to go after president because we had to find out what was going to happen. And they did that to a president. So people on the left have...
Does anybody know what the fuck he's talking about? I mean, I understand he's like slapping three versions of a story together and creating a version of things that the president wasn't involved in this, but the judge down there would have just signed the warrant that the investigators, mainly the FBI, would whatever. Like again, the sort of chumming of perfectly good ideas that happens on the regular in this dude's brain is shocking.
It's like, I can't believe he's going after John Bolton. If
Why not?
Trump did this at Biden's house, and they went to Biden's house, okay, now that's retribution, But if you notice, Trump's been fairly nice to Biden.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't have anything on him, and he knows it. And so he's trying to make up for the fever dream of people being arrested, like Hillary and Clinton and Obama, or Bill Clinton and Obama, and Biden and all this stuff, and Hunter, and they really want somebody arrested. So he's trying to throw them some, the other white meat by arresting some folks, and the only people he knows have probably done something criminal are people he has hired in the past.
Okay, he's not necessarily been like Obama. Every time Obama was like what? Why, it's what I inherited. It's administration I inherited. It's administration I inherited. And all these liberals get up and they say, well, you don't ever blame the previous one. It's all Obama did for the first 4 years.
What are you talking about? All Trump does is blame Biden. He calls the Ukraine war Biden's war. What the fuck?
Go back and play the tapes. It's out there.
About Bush.
Asshole, he was talking about the Great Recession. Wasn't even about the Bush economy. It's the 2008 crash. You know when he took office, you fucking tool? 2009. Now, granted, this asshole and his fuckwad, VC buddies all were involved in that shit or knew people who either were wrecked in it or gained from it or both. Obama did inherit a financial disaster. He did inherit a wrecked economy. What the fuck are you talking about? Trump says it, and everything was fine last year. Good Lord. Like, post-COVID, inflation was coming down. Post-COVID, crime was coming down. Wages were rising, low unemployment, best in 60 years. The stock market was going up. We were like... The Chips and Science Act is what actually brought the manufacturer that Trump is patting himself on the back for doing in Arizona. They're like, these places are ready to open. Yeah, motherfucker, because they broke ground a year and a half ago. Does this asshole, maybe he just doesn't watch any Trump shit. Maybe you only watch, I bet that what it is. I just realized. I just figured it out. This motherfucker only sees Trump clips from X. And they're targeted. They're selected. And if he occasionally sees like Trump stagger or something, it's because somebody around him brought it to his attention and he didn't have a choice.
Everything was about Bush's fault. Bush's fault. Bush's fault. Bush's fault. Bush's fault.
No, it wasn't.
It's like, dude.
No, it wasn't.
Kudos to Bush. Love him or hate him. When he became president and he got out, never said anything. He said.
That's because we weren't at war. It was pre 9/11 and Bill Clinton had left him with a surplus. What the fuck was he going to bitch about? Too big a slush fund? Shut the fuck up.
Nothing. From that day till today. Yes, 9/11. Yes, all this other stuff.
Yeah, 9/11. Man, anything not to mention Epstein.
Guy,
Yeah.
for the most part, has been a fairly, what's the word? Non-influential player in the last, what is the NPC? He's
non-player character.
Not been somebody that's been that influential. So I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe there is something there. Maybe it's redirecting. Maybe it's misdirection. Whatever it is.
Sorry, John Bolton's an NPC? All right, I can't. Like at some point, like, these motherfuckers, I feel like we have to, like, give up until something on Epstein breaks and they have to deal with it. Like, it's hard to figure out even what the living shit he's talking about. God damn.